Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin, and I have pulled a new legendary. So, I pulled it actually a couple days ago, and it was unrecorded. It was basically, I had enough cash for 4 ceramics, and I've basically just been trying to get a legendary for a while. So that's why I haven't really been saving, like, up to a big amount, because I'll eventually just decide to gamble with it and try and pull a legendary. And I had enough for 4 ceramics. I was just sitting downstairs with my family watching some TV, just decided to open a few, and we did a little challenge thingy to like who had the better pack luck. I opened it, pulled an epic Chevy Murray, which you can see right here there's the Chevy Murray. So yeah, so basically opened the pack, did that, and I pulled the Chevy Murray. Then it was my dad's turn, and he opened the pack and pulled me my 3rd Datsun 240Z rally car. But he pulled that as the 4th car. Now the funny thing about this Datsun 240Z rally car is actually out of the 3 ceramic packs that he's opened, it's the same car he's pulled every single time. I haven't pulled one Datsun 240Z rally car on my account. Like, I can't seem to pull one. And he's pulled 3. But then the next card after that was my new legendary, which you'll see as I scroll through right here. Now, it's not a bad legendary, it's actually a pretty mediocre one, sort of like on the scale with like my Audi R8, where it's good in some areas, but it isn't really a great all-rounder like some of my other legendaries, like my Aventador SV or like my 911 GT2 RS, where they're great at like everything. It's more of a car made for specific track sets, which you will see in 1 second. It is, my new legendary is the Ariel Atom 3. So it's an RQ80 legendary, which usually means that's a bad legendary, but it's actually one of the good RQ80 legendaries. That's actually a good one to have. So I've had it for 2 days, total races of 11 with a 73% win ratio, which isn't that bad for being an RQ80 legendary. So it's doesn't have like great stats, especially when I'm putting it up against maxed epics. That it's usually going to win, but it actually, that 73% win ratio isn't too bad, especially since I'm using it up against very high tier hands and clubs, usually mostly putting it against McLaren 12Cs. So it's not that bad of a car. It's actually a pretty nice one, and I like to have it. It's similar to my Audi R8, where the Audi R8's only good on like rain stuff, where there isn't like too long of a straight, where then it's lacking MRA, doesn't hurt it. And the Ariel Atom 3 is good at everything twisty, where there isn't a straight line, where weight comes into play. So they're both pretty nice cars, and it's a pretty nice addition that fills in a hole in my legendary collection, because my only other light legendary is my Lancia LC2, but it is such a high RQ and it has slick tires that it isn't as flexible as the Ariel Atom, where the Ariel Atom is a much lower RQ and it doesn't have slick tires, so it's able to be used in much more events. So it is a pretty solid addition to the collection. So now another thing is the fuse pile, how it's looking. I did end up also pulling that second Chevy Murray. I would have kept 2 if I got it when it was ultra rare, but I didn't have this account when it used to be ultra rare, which was a long time ago. But I'm probably going to fuse this one because I have much more better epic projects that I want to work on than 2 Chevy Murrays, so it'll probably be more useful as fuse. Same thing goes for the De Tomaso Pantera SI, except it's a bit different. Instead of having ultra rare projects, I actually have epic projects that I kind of need the fuse for, because I have a lot of epics, as you'll see right now, that I want to work on, which is, here's a few of them. The CC100 Speedster is a great one I want to max out. Same with the Bentley Continental, also the Mazda Furai, the Spiker C8 Brilliator, the Dodge Viper SRT10, and then I have a few other lower tier ones too, like the 911 GT2 is a good one. I also do want to max out my 911 Carrera RSR 3.0 sometime. I've had this one for a while now, and still haven't put any fuses into it yet, except for the fact that it's a really great car. SRT10 is a good one, I think I already said that. Also, I do want to work on my Volkswagen CC sometime, but that's not a current project really. M6 Grand Coupe is the same as the CC, it's just a car I do want to max out at some point. The sensitive slider thing is bugging again. Also, the Chevy Murray is a project that I want to work on, and also finishing my 306 Maxi is another. Now I'm clicking on KT Play. The screen is very sensitive right now. So yeah, there's basically a big group of cars that I want to work on maxing, so that Pantera isn't really a thing I want to work on, because I feel like it would be much better used as being epic fuse. Plus I have a bunch of other epics that I do want to work on at some point after I finish like all these projects, like finishing my TT. Also the 911 Targa 4S is a pretty good car as well. AMG GT, same thing. It's just, these are sort of cars that are sort of like solid, but they're also kind of mediocre. Like, they're cars you want to keep when you pull them, but then they're also like not like I need to max them out immediately, like the Mazda Ferrari or the CC100 Speedster or like the Viper, where they're like completely game changing if you pull them. Well, for these three, they are very good cars that I do want to max at some point, and there's probably some other down here, like the V12 Vantage is a pretty good one. Same with the M2 Competition, and I do want to also max out this Corvette at some point too. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I do want to work on, but I just don't have the ultra rare fuse right now, which is why that Pantera is staying in the fuse pile, even though it would be pretty useful to have in my garage. But it would be more useful, I feel like, as fuse material to work on upgrading more of my epics, because as I've noticed so far, ultra rares don't really help you that much in events when it's a high RQ, especially when it comes to finals too. Like, I have the stuff to win events, I just don't have any of the epics maxed. Like, if I had the epics maxed, I'd be winning so many more events, which is why I'm more focusing on now getting rid of ultra rares and putting them into my epics, because the more maxed epics I have, the more I'll have a solid chance at doing good in events, because epics beat legendaries a lot, and maxed epics especially beat legendaries, and that's what you want to have, because you want to be able to beat the top stuff to be able to progress and win in the events. So, another new thing I got in my garage is the Jaguar XKR S convertible. It's another solid epic that fills a gap in my collection, which is in the UK collection. As you see right here, I have a pretty sad Jaguar hand. Now, if we go to Jaguar, which is right here, it's pretty lacking. I have a 323 XFR Sport Brake, which isn't that great. I mean, 233 would be better considering it is a city streets car, but I've had it for a long time, so I didn't really know 233 was actually a good tune back then. Also, I have a 233 F-Type Coupe, which is a pretty low RQ dragster, 310 days, 68% win ratio. Well, that's usually because I'm putting it up against the Purple Countach or higher RQ dragster cars, so it's a pretty nice RQ saver when it comes to club events. And then the XKR convertible, which is a new addition to my garage, which is actually one of the actual good low-tier British cars I've gotten. Because I have gotten a lot of low-tier British epics, but I've fused them all away. I've actually just started to get actual high-tier good British epics with the CC100 Speedster 18 days ago, and then the Bentley, which was 20 days ago. Like, I've gotten a lot of British epics. Let's filter by epic, and then go to the very end, and I can show you. Used to have the TVR Tuscan S, fused it away. Lotus Esprit V8, I had it very close to maxed out a while ago in the beginning of my account, and then I sold it because I got mad at it because I wouldn't win anything. And I wish I wouldn't have sold it now because it would have been nice, because it would have been an almost maxed out epic that I'd have, but that was also a very long time ago, just like 323 my Jaguar XFR Sport Brake. Another one I had was the V12 Vanquish S. I fused that as well. Pretty sure there's a few others here yet. The Caterham 7420. It's a good car, but only if you have it maxed, and I had a lot of other projects, and it would just be more useful as fuse mat. And then another one is the Lotus Evora S. Now, this is a good car right now, but it is most likely going to get a very heavy nerf, because its 0 to 60 is slower in real life. It also has like 60 MRA in real life. So if it will get this nerf, it'll go down to a very low tier car. So very low tier epic, basically a fuse epic at that point. And I don't want to have it maxed if that nerf does happen, because that'll basically make this car useless. And I mean, it's not really one of the best Lotus, even though I do like the car a lot and it has a nice color. I don't want to end up wasting resources on it for then it to get nerfed to oblivion. So that's basically then, where did that epic go then, since I fused it away? Well, it went into my now 2-star Gumpert Apollo S, hits 2.6, 102 handling, very nice, has better stats now than my max 911 GT2 RS, which is pretty impressive considering it's a max legendary, but it is now 2-starred, so it makes sense. Plus, it also has pretty solid MRA, I'm pretty sure in the mid-90s, which is a little bit under the 911 GT2 RS, but the Gumpert has better top speed and also a better 0 to 60 by a lot. Well, actually not by a lot, well, I guess by a lot when it comes to legendaries. The 0.2 difference when it comes to legendaries is a pretty decently sized margin. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about was my ultra rare projects, since I did have to fuse some away. I don't have a very big ultra rare build pile anymore since I have worked on getting rid of them. I do have a few special ones though. Aston Martin Bulldog's a prize car, so I'm not getting rid of that. The TVR 450 SEAC is a pretty nice car. Got it from an unrecorded carbon fiber, and I'm not going to get rid of it. Another one is the Nissan Silvia. It's just a great car. I've used it a ton. 110 races with it, 83% win ratio at stock. This one is my first ever maxed ultra rare. I had it on my Samsung tablet account, which was my first actual good Top Drives account I had. And that was actually a pretty nice account, nowhere near as good as this account, but then the motherboard died on that tablet and I lost the account forever. So I'm definitely keeping this car and I am going to max it out. And then I have my 2-star GMC Sierra All-Terrain X when I feel like upgrading it. Another thing I wanted to cover was what my Call of the Wild hand looks like now after the aftermath of Call of the Wild. Basically, I'm stuck and I can't go any further and I don't really want to open up carbon fibers. So this is basically what happened. I now have a 213 Viper SRT10. Don't worry, I am 233ing it. I just needed that engine traction bonus, which is why I put the engine fuse in it first. Also, Viper SRT10 and the Mustang Boss stayed the same at stock. Cayman GTS didn't get any upgrades. Basically just a bunch of other lower tiers. And then when we move on to the lower tier cars now, a lot of stuff that I never really would have kept, but I actually have it maxed, like the Beetle Cabriolet, the Panda Cross 4x4, Dodge Hornet's actually upgraded this time, Suzuki Swift Sport is a nice addition, plus a bunch of low RQ dragsters, and my 332 Ford Puma 1.7. And another 332 car that you wouldn't really 332, the Dodge Colt Vista all-wheel drive, because of that one drag track set. So yeah, that's basically then the Call of the Wild collection. Pretty nice, a lot better than when I started Call of the Wild. It's got a nice bunch of additions that I never really would have maxed out, same with the Fiat Panda and the Volkswagen Beetle. But yeah, another thing that you might have noticed is the amount of cash that I have right now, basically saving all the resources I have until the new update comes out, whenever that is. Because since I did pull the legendary, like I said earlier, how I just kept on opening packs until I would get a legendary since I hadn't gotten one in 113 days. I'd been wanting one for a while, so then I did finally get one with the Ariel Atom 3, which is a very nice car. So that's basically it for that. Then I did have something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, how the Ariel Atom benefits my 2000s hand. Because I used to have a very garbage 2000s hand, and now I have a very good one. Like here, comparison to my 2010s, a lot of legendaries, and then a good amount of solid epics, but it's just sort of mediocre when it comes to 2010s because there's, you know, these. But now when we go to 2000s then, it's got a couple of good stuff, but it's really, you can get through with like having just a decent set of key cars. And I actually now have that decent set of key cars with the Banana, the Viper SRT10, the Mazda Furai, now a low RQ legendary, the Ariel Atom 3, which is a good one, the MRA Beast, the Citroen GT, and then the all-arounder, the Lamborghini Murcielago, which is also a pretty nice one when it comes to rain. So actually now looking at my 2000s cars, plus I have every ultra rare that I own that's 2000s maxed, which is pretty nice, with a bunch of interesting ones like the 911 Carrera Cabriolet or the Mercedes-Benz S350 4MATIC, which is a car that has really good MRA but is pretty crap everywhere else. But still, I maxed it just for Mercedes club events anyway, so yeah, basically 2000s hand is looking pretty nice, and so far my garage is just looking really nice. The fuse map pile is coming along nice, got a lot of super rare fuse for whenever new update comes out to easily max out those ultra rares. Also saving up the cash for whatever amount of cash I have when the new update comes out. I'll do just a gigantic pack opening with that. And yeah, that's basically going to conclude Top Drive's Garage Update Episode 9. Garage has made a lot of nice progress since the last one. A new legendary, new epic, plus some epic fuse and ultra rare fuse. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like these type of videos, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that cool stuff. I'm Elephant. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.